Hey kids, Inverted Cow here. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Almost said Project Ozone there. Well, yeah, just because that's what I'm supposed to be working on right now. Yeah. Anyhow, back to what I have been working on. I have been working on building what's going to become my new primary ship. Last episode, I ended just getting started on it here. So let's have a look-see at what we got going on. Up at the beginning, where it all starts. How about we look at it from the right perspective? It's all about perspective, she says. Okay. What you're looking at here is the floor level of the bridge. This hallway here in the middle is actually the level that the bridge will be at. The bridge itself has this, I build them with a block gap down so that I can put in timer blocks and miscellaneous stones. So I can put in timer blocks and the programmable blocks and such like that in here and have it not totally clutter up the whole of the bridge. I mean, yeah, I'll put a few in the walls here and such just for looks, but I like having this space available so that I can actually install those if I need to without having to really modify anything on the ship. I can just add them in as needed. Now I've got 6 large cargo containers all ordered up here. This is a main hallway. The ship's basically just going to be a long, skinny hallway. So we'll just lock it down here. Eventually I'll put in blast doors here, or an airlock door here. You come down the hallway and you've got on either side or storage. I'm going to install a layer above this yet, so I'm not worried about that, but ore will be stored in here, and then as you come down here there'll be another door at this location where this wall is. I've got 3 refineries already ordered simply because I needed them for size, but it'll be 3 refineries for processing all of the refinery ore except for uranium, and I'll have 4 arc furnaces set up here for processing iron, cobalt, and nickel, which I believe is all of the arc furnace ores. And then beside the arc furnaces will be a bunch of oxygen generators and oxygen processors. Then behind that I'm going to put in 2 more refineries over on this side, but they're going to be strictly for uranium. There's nothing else is going to go into them except uranium. The idea is ore will be collected and stored in these units, and as it works its way towards the back half of the ship, it will get processed into the appropriate needs. So there's the quick 2-minute run through. So I'm just going to fly over here, and I ran out of iron, so I was digging a little bit of iron. Cool. Jump in the cockpit. And we will, oops. Again with the wrong buttons. K, thank you. K for control panel. Weld ship control. All right, there we go. Now you'll see here I added one more thing. It's the thrusters button number 7. The reason for that is if I'm maneuvering this ship around, the attached ship will try to counter it with its thrusters and using it as inertial dampers, and that can put a lot of strain on your connector. So I've unlocked, turned on the thrusters. We're just going to drift away from here a little bit. Switch to forward camera view. Okay, now let's hope I turn the right way. Down. For some reason these are inverted. No, I think I turned the wrong way. So one drawback is you can't switch out from camera view to a third-person view for flying these ships unless you're controlling them from outside and already have a third-person view going. Now I did move the welder arms forward because I was really oh, why am I not slowing down? Hello. Houston, we have an issue here. Don't hit the gas too hard. A lot more forward thrust than I have what do you call it? Reverse thrust. So we just get ourselves positioned here real quick. There we go. Nice and gentle taps. Just gonna, oh, I gotta remember gyroscopes. Gyroscopes will be needed just to speed up my controls and turning. Alright, there we go. We'll rotate this way and a little bit more this way so I can see where I'm aiming here. Okay, now up and forward, so we're going to turn on the welders. Just going to move our way up and forward. Now as this welds, it will use up resources and material, and the ship will actually get lighter and somewhat easier to control. But these welders will do about 3 or 4 blocks wide, and these are all heavy armor blocks, so they're going to take a lot of resources to use up. Come on. Oh, come on. Here we go. Probably bumping into stuff here. You rotate up. Storms are always inbound. Whoops, I gotta change that key. F key is in the wrong place. So let's see if we can turn. All right, let's just fly out of here. probably bonking on the ship itself, which is what you're seeing happen there, is the cargo tube at the bottom of the ship is hitting the deck. Okay, let's turn a little bit more, keep rotating, and up, vertical up, there we go, and we just do another pass just like that. Up and back, up and back. Oops. Part of the reason I make this a solid ship is you're always tapping it. You bump into it with thrusters periodically, or with welders periodically. And you really don't want that happening where it's got no control surfaces whatsoever, because when it's just empty frameworks like this, you'll bump it once and the next thing you know it's moving at 5 meters per second out into space, and your fastest ship takes 15 minutes to get up to speed to catch it. Makes it very hard to slow it down and kind of bring it back to where you're working. Come on. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a bit, and I'm going to weld a bunch more of this up. Just let this thing run, because it will take some time. I mean, welding ships are fast, but it's, as you can see, finicky. So I'll be right back. Okay, kids, we have done a little bit more work on this, or a little bit of welding on this thing, and we've used up most of the inventory that this ship holds. And you can see now the kind of difference in performance that actually having a full inventory makes, as opposed to having an almost completely empty ship. Right now, it's not laggy on the looking around, the movement. If I hit the thrusters, it accelerates very quickly and handles like a sporty little ship should. So yeah, it's it can show you the kind of difference having a very heavy inventory will do on a little welding ship like this. Now, I've run out of material to build some of this stuff, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, real quick here, I'm going to dock this and I'm going to order up some stuff. So we're just going to switch views, find, oops, bumping into stuff here. I don't want to break off my ship anymore, thank you. How do we go down? Down, 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 and we rotate. Rotate a little bit more. And some of this. And back. careful not to go slamming back into this thing at full throttle, because you will damage yourself quite substantially. Up just a touch. And 9. Locked. Green is good. Green means it's locked. 7, we turn the thrusters off. Double check that 5, the welders are off. Okay, now we're just going to order up, not inventory, but that'll work. Production. See, I had these metal grids ordered. It's been jamming on. There's too much resource, raw resource in the inventory here, so that's fine. But if I'm going to bring up large blocks here, and I've got large cargo containers, I have 6 of them, so I'm going to quickly just order 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that just puts everything in. Now I know that component-wise, the that I need the motors for the refineries. Thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. So I just ordered an extra 100 motors. Now I'm just going to quickly just stack this stuff because for some reason it doesn't like to do that. Now I know I'm going to have a few spare parts because I've already got a lot of bulk items already made and used. So I'm never going to use all of the components. Well, I can't say never, but I'm not going to use all of the components that I have ordered on those cargo containers. And 100 motors. Okay, and I'll put that grid with those. Put those first, and we'll drop these last. We'll see how much of this stuff it actually processes. It says it needs nickel. So let's have a look here. Assembler needs nickel. Where's my refinery? Refinery has nickel. We'll see the volume, the raw material inventory gets overstuffed and then it shuts down. It has the materials. I have ample. It's just sometimes it just stuffs up. Everything gets back stuffed. So what we'll do is we just pop that out. We'll pop that out. And there we go. It just draws in everything it needs. Doesn't need gold. Oh, I guess I'm ordering motors. It probably does. See? There we go. And then it draws in what it needs. The thing is when this inventory starts getting full, is it tries to stuff everything in here. And this should not be doing stone. There. One of the things I'm always fussing with is trying to organize, until I actually get everything set up, is trying to organize who gets what. Where is... Did I not see it? It's usually right down near the bottom here. Furnace. Arc furnace should have all my iron. The drill will try to load whatever's in the first item inventory and then followed by the second. Unfortunately, it tries to shove everything into the refinery first and then the arc furnace second, which is why I have to set up separating things. Now this is pulling nickel and iron from somewhere. Got another drill that's packed with nickel and iron. There's a drill there. It's very hard to separate the things that you want. There's drill 2. So it's just one drill that's packed with iron, so that's why this is filling with iron. See, I want this focusing on uranium because it takes the longest amount of time to cook, and it's one of the ores that I need. Basically, you never want to run out of. It's one of those things, no matter what, you never want to run out of it. So I'm going to let this stuff cook, and then I'm going to do a little bit more, another pass with the welder, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, kids, we are back. So let's have a quick look at what we're doing. We're just recharging this inventory right now because I've used it up. I had to come over here because I need to dig out. There's this spur of iron that's kind of just a little too close, and I need to dig some of that out, but unfortunately I've already filled the drills, and I'm only about halfway through it, so I've got a lot more drilling to do. I'm just laying out where the reactor room is going in. These are all underneath the reactor blocks. Here are all the extra armor blocks too. I don't want them to be accidentally shot through the floor or something. I've been laying out all of my different conveyor tubes here. I actually found that if I color code them to some degree so I have an idea of what they're doing, it makes it a little bit easier to figure out what it is that I was thinking when I go and start programming these. You know, brown, for example, is all of my inventory input. Raw, this is just raw ores go into here. This main trunk line down the middle is a fairly common theme that I'll do. So there's no, you'll see these control blocks will come in off of this trunk line where it's needed. Blue, or this light color blue, this is for oxygen and ice, obviously. So all my ice goes into these two oxygen generators here. This conveyor just stores oxygen in the two tanks behind it and pumps one line of oxygen right back to the bridge area. I will probably be doing is dropping another line here off the side of the conveyor and running it straight back past all of these lines and then into the engine room where there's going to be a bunch of hydrogen tanks set up to store hydrogen gas for flight. Let's see here, what else do we got? Other than that, I've put a lot of my I hate having to rotate. I started putting my upgrades on the back of the refineries. These three refineries again are for ores. These four blast furnaces are for iron and cobalt and whatever. These two refineries are strictly for uranium, and they're hooked in to the reactors that are going in here. And then from this point I'll go back a little bit further. I've got to put in a couple of storage containers for finished goods hydrogen storage, and I want to put in one one set of refineries that I'm going to hook up and program so that one is on repeat for weapons and one is on repeat for missiles. That way I never have to actually need to worry about running out. And then those will be hooked into my weapons grid throughout the ship. Other than that, I've laid out where my medical room is going to go in, and we're almost there. Of course, I still have to drill my way out, but I can actually start storing surplus ore, so I'm going to actually start emptying some of the extra ores that I have into these storage units so that it's all ready to go when I start laying it out and actually get power to the conveyor system. Okay, there we have it. Thanks all for watching, kids, and I'll see you on the next episode. One more wave. Good night for now.